Welcome to Small Town Snarks. I'm Joel.
And I'm Miranda. Let's get snarky.
Superboy and the Invisible Girl, son of steel and daughter of air.
He's a hero, forever a prince.
He's not here. Wow, we were all
I am here.
You know that's not true. You're a little ranger,
my
perfect girl. You know I love you.
I love you as much as I can.
As much as yeah. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm having some. My words.
It's been a
today.
day.
It has been a day, and it's only like 12:30. Like the day is young.
But you've been up. I mean, you've had a whole day.
I love mornings. I'm a morning
Yeah.
person, and I'm starting to adapt to that more and more. And it has been the best thing that has ever happened to me.
I know. I was doing well for a minute there, and then I regressed.
Mm-hmm. I love a morning. I like getting up early and doing something really productive first thing in the morning because then I don't want to say that I feel better than others, but like...
You feel less pressure throughout the day because you already did stuff.
Yes, and even my favorite thing that I say to myself, even when it's like the weekends, is that like if I get up and I do some form of exercise first thing in the morning, I'm like, I don't have to do anything else for the day. Like I've done a thing.
My problem is when I wake up and I have two puppies laying on top of me who don't want to get up. What's the point in getting out of bed?
Yeah.
Like, it's basically the best thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah, I 5 o'clock alarm goes off. It doesn't even have to go off anymore. I'm awake by 4:50.
The best is when, so sometimes on the weekends, the pups they'll get up. 'Cause usually Dakota gets up, and then they'll get up. And then I'm like, okay, I got to get up because they got to use the bathroom. I let them outside. I give them their breakfast. I eat my breakfast, so we all have breakfast together. Then we go back to bed.
I love that.
I'm just like, hey, guys, you want to go snuggle? And they run to the bed.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a great morning routine.
Yeah.
Well, we're back.
We're back.
And we're taking a little bit of a tangent.
Yeah.
A little bit of a tangent from our regularly scheduled program.
You guys didn't ask for this, but we're doing it anyway.
We're doing it anyway because we got some strong opinions.
Yeah. We love sharing our opinions on shows.
We do love to share our opinions on shows. And this is, we're going to play a little bit of a game of an overrated, underrated kind of conversation of shows that we have either seen or have been a part of. So we each have 5 shows. I'm doing mine from memory, and Miranda has hers written down. Miranda's actually prepared for this, and I'm winging it a little bit, but I'm excited about it.
I'm excited.
I've got
as
a lot
well.
of big feelings.
And I know all the shows that I picked, people have feelings about them, so I'm excited to hear your opinions.
I love that. Yeah. Well, do you want to ask me first, or do you want me to start, or?
I'll ask you first.
Okay.
Okay. In your opinion, is this show overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated?
Like that. Appropriately rated? Okay.
Hadestown.
That's so funny that you asked me about Hadestown because I was definitely going to ask you the same question.
Well, good. We can talk about it.
Great. I feel like this, what I'm going to say is going to be the case with the several shows you're going to ask me about. But if you would have asked me in 2019 about Hadestown and my thoughts on it, I would have said that it is highly underrated. I think when it first came out, very few people had any idea what it was about.
But at this point, at this moment in time.
Right. So at this point, I think it is very, very, it almost hurts to say, overrated. In that, I would say appropriately rated to overrated. In that, do I think that it at a time moved the needle and really kind of opened the door for musical theater to go in an even more like experimental and like minimalist interpretation? Yes. Do I think that it has been blown out of proportion and I think people became infatuated with it beyond all measures in a way that I don't think is necessarily warranted at this point? Also, yes. I think it has beautiful songs. I think the staging of it, like the OG, like Broadway staging of it, is spectacular. The intention and like the movement and like the way that that set works to enhance that story is really brilliant. I think the director Rachel Chafkin did some really unique things with that. Honestly, I've had this conversation with other people before, and I feel like her work on The Great Comet prior to Hadestown, like The Great Comet walked so Hadestown could run. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's the perfect blend of everything she tried with Great Comet
Yep.
in a perfect musical. So I just think it's overrated at this point because the love for it has reached a point where like the material itself in my mind doesn't kind of hold up to where people in society, specifically people of a certain age, have elevated that show to. And I think it's unfortunate. I think it's really great that like younger audiences are really falling in love with musical theater, and that's great that they're falling in love with that show that way. But I just, ooh, Hadestown, oh my gosh, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's the best thing ever. And I'm like, we've got to broaden our horizons a little bit, people. Like, it's a really
Mm-hmm.
beautiful show, but it just, like, it's not redefining things anymore the way that people hold it to these days.
Yeah, I would say I agree with your statement. I think overall I think it's appropriately rated. I think it should be well known.
Mm-hmm.
Um because it's a great show. I love the fact that one of the shows people are talking about is like an original work,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
that's great. But yes, I am with you in that I'm a little tired of hearing about flowers,
Mm-hmm.
like the song Flowers specific, like
Yeah.
it, I get it. And I think, we've talked about this as well. It's like it comes in waves, and like
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk about a show, and then 5 years later, like all the teenagers we work with are talking about it. So at
Mm-hmm.
that point, we've already been exposed to material for
Yeah.
a long time, and like,
Mm-hmm.
but I went through a Hadestown phase. Like, it was the cast recording that I was playing in my car nonstop
Mm-hmm.
for a while.
Yeah.
The music is phenomenal. But yeah, I think overall, I'm gonna say appropriately rated because I love the show. Now, do I think we could diversify our library a little bit? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't want this to turn into like a, well, we saw it back in the
No,
original. Like, I
no.
don't want it to turn into that necessarily, but like, I think your point is a very accurate one of like the way that certain shows kind of roll themselves out. There are shows that are older or at the same age as Hadestown that like, you know, didn't get the same, aren't getting the same kind of treatment where it's like this is the greatest thing since sliced bread in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but at the same point in time, it has served its purpose, and I think it continues to. I mean, I saw it in October of last year on Broadway again, and it still holds up. The moments
Yeah.
that hit. I mean, sitting in the theater watching the walls expand as you're going into Hadestown at the end of Act One. I mean, a wait for me moment with the lights swinging
Mm.
still hits the same way
What
it
should have
did.
been the end of Act One? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole. Yeah,
Mm.
that's a hot take kind of episode, but yeah, it's really interesting how the love for that show has kind of evolved and has turned into this like crazy pandemonium.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. You gonna ask me about one?
Yeah. So I'm gonna actually ask you about a play that you have been in. I know you did in college.
Oh.
Yes, and it's a play that I think I won't share my thoughts. I'll ask you your thoughts.
Okay.
You were in The Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about The Wolves. Was it overrated, or is it as a society and as a piece of as a piece of play, as a piece of literature, as a story, overrated, underrated, or appropriately rated?
It's overrated.
Mm-hmm.
but the reason I think so many people gravitate towards it is there are very few works of theater that are an all-female cast.
Mm-hmm.
And especially at the time when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
Now there are some more that are majority women, but I think it was an all-female cast, and it wasn't about boys.
Mm-hmm.
And that was something I hadn't really seen at the time when I was in it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the story of the show, like, for people that don't know, is an all-female soccer team. And there's, like, young adult, I would say. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you could do teenager, probably,
Mm-hmm.
but young adult, teenager. And all of the characters have their own, like, unique backstory.
Mm-hmm.
And spoilers, if you want to skip ahead, one of the characters dies, and at the end of the play, their mother shows up at their soccer game to give orange slices like she would always, and she has this monologue about her daughter and, like, how much it means to be at the game and, like, all that stuff. And the very end, the team kind of comes together and they chant "We Are the Wolves" together. And before the death of the one player, there was tension, conflict, like trivial things. Like, I don't remember all the conflicts, but they were, you know, normal everyday arguments. I will say I do want to revisit it, partially because I think it would hit differently having lost Jacob at this point, because we've interacted with his family members quite a bit, and it means something to them to, like, come to our productions. And I feel like that interaction with the mom in the play would feel very differently to me now, having experienced something like that. But overall, I mean, it's not the most well-written play, but I do think it was groundbreaking in the casting and, like, the choices it made from that standpoint.
Yeah. So, overrated, underrated?
Overrated. Yeah. I think overrated.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I do, in the fact that when it first came out, to your point, there really wasn't, and there still really isn't, a lot of great pieces of theater that feature a cast similar to what that show's designed for. And to that point, everybody was doing it. I mean, you couldn't go more than 30 square miles without finding somebody doing a production of The Wolves somewhere.
Yep.
And I do, like, personally believe, I've read a lot of grief-related theater over the years, and, like, I think it's a good story, and I think it serves its purpose, but I don't necessarily know if it's the best interpretation of that kind of plot.
It's pretty surface level. Yeah. I mean, it does get into it a little bit, but it dips its toes into those conversations, but it does not go very far.
Right.
Yeah.
Just a subtle nod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I agree with your statement. I think overrated is very fair.
Yeah. Great Gatsby.
New money, new money. Okay, so here I've got feelings about Great Gatsby. I think that it is overrated, and I stand by that. I won't be fickle like I was with Hadestown.
Well, and this is different from Hadestown too, because Great Gatsby's still a newer show, and everyone is talking about it.
It has either had its 2-year anniversary or it's coming up on its 2-year anniversary. Here's my thing about Great Gatsby the musical. Essentially, for those of you that don't know the backstory of, like Great Gatsby on Broadway, the story, the book itself, not the particular musical. I'll get to the musical in a second. But essentially what happened was 2 to 3 years ago, I'll have to check the exact date, the rights and the story for the Great Gatsby went into public domain.
Mm-hmm.
And that opened up the floodgates for everybody to tell that story in its own unique and interesting way.
Sure.
Nothing wrong with that. The thing that I struggle with the Great Gatsby musical, I have seen it, so I'm not like just, saying stuff to say stuff. The issue that I have with it is I don't think it's the best interpretation of that story. I think it glosses over a lot of the really unique parts of that story and a lot of the unique emotions that are in that story. The other thing is it's very cliche heavy. Like what you assume the story structure would be is what it is.
Okay.
And I think that just like it 100% does the job it needs to do, which is to tell the story of the Great Gatsby, but it doesn't do anything beyond that. Like almost to your comment about the wolves, like it was the wolves. That was very surface level.
Yeah.
Like it very much so doesn't dive beyond what you would expect. And that frustrates me a little bit. Like going in, I knew very little of I knew the plot. I'd read the book and I had read the reviews and the comments and whatnot. But like, I could tell you going in without knowing the order of the songs that obviously intermission was going to be an act breaks, or there'd be an act break song, something referencing the green light.
Yeah.
Like or you can imagine what a writer was going to do. And then of course when the song starts, or I look at the playbill before the show starts, I'm like, oh, not only are we going to reference the green light, we're going to sing an entire song about it. Like it just felt very surface level to me. And it also, the music itself, like, I say this as someone who will listen to Green Light every once in a while, or like the beat, like I like the beat to New Money. It's fine. It's catchy. Songs are fine.
Right.
And you would have thought, especially within the last year or two, honestly, the last year, you would have thought that William Shakespeare came back and wrote the most beautiful musical called The Great Gatsby. And him and Stephen Sondheim and Andrew Lloyd Webber and, your favorite book writer of all time came together to create this masterpiece. And I'm sorry, people, it's not the case. It is spectacle. There's lots of pyro. There's lots of what you want out of a glitz and glam, 20s musical. But I would not go out of my way to see it again.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't spend, I did rush tickets for it, and I probably wouldn't spend beyond what I did, which I think was like $45. It just was like, saw it, thought it was good.
Moved on.
Yeah,
I have not seen it.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard many people sing the songs because everybody loves the green light.
They do. And there's a lot of ballads in that show. Very ballad heavy show. A lot of duets.
Yeah.
A lot of duets.
But I remember enjoying the book. It's been a while since I've visited it, but it's a shame that they kept it surface level because I do think there's stuff in the material that is really interesting that they could have explored a little bit more. Yeah. You're saying overrated?
I think it's very overrated. I think I there's certain shows where I hear people going to see them where I'm like, there is so much. This is gonna get me in trouble. There's so much better theater out there to spend your money on, where you're going to get more out of it and you're going to have a good time.
I know, but it's harder to sell.
It is, but like once you discover it,
I know.
And like, granted, we were talking about Hadestown a minute ago. People didn't know what Hadestown was when it first opened on Broadway.
Oh, it took Hadestown a lot longer than like Great Gatsby.
Well, and Great Gatsby had source material that people knew, and
that's the thing.
I think that's still the thing that works out for them. And you get school groups that want to go see Great Gatsby,
and they threw Jeremy Jordan in there.
And I don't get me wrong, sounds great. He can sing the hell out of that score.
Oh yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. That's about all I can say.
All right.
Yeah. Um, had one that I really wanted to ask you about. We've been talking about this, and it's actually the song that we sang as our intro. Let's talk about Next to Normal. Underrated, overrated, appropriately rated.
I'm gonna.
Mm-hmm.
This is hard.
I knew. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
I am going to say underrated with a caveat.
Okay.
That caveat being, I think the song I Miss the Mountains is overrated.
Ooh, okay.
And here's why. It's not a bad song. It's a great song.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people know that song and don't know the show.
Mm-hmm.
And sing that song and don't know the show, don't know the context of the song. There are songs in that show that hit harder for me than that song.
Oh, sure.
And I hate that people just use it as a cabaret number. And it's like, I had an interesting discussion with someone who's actually, I went to see a production of this show with someone that we work with regularly. And she's actually a child therapist as well. We were talking about the medication aspect, and I think it's a very controversial show. I think there are parts of it that don't age great, actually. With part of those like medication discussions and the dialogue around that. We were having a really interesting discussion about it, and I think it's underrated in the sense that what I love about it is it's such a messy show. Like, it's very easy to dislike almost all the characters, in my opinion.
Yep.
And I don't like the character that you're rooting for most of the time, which I would argue is the mom, although you could say the daughter. I don't agree with what she does at the end. And I think what makes it underrated to me is people who have looked into the full story. I think there's a lot of conversations to be had there. And there are a lot of people we talk to that do theater regularly and don't know the show. They know I Miss the Mountains, but they don't know Next to Normal. And I love the discussions that it brings to the table. I don't think it does it perfectly, but I admire the fact that it tries because no one else really tries. My thoughts on it.
I like it. I would agree it's underrated in the fact that I don't think people, I haven't been to a lot of cabarets necessarily, but I don't think I've ever heard anyone sing I Miss the Mountains outside of like the confines of the show in a more casual
Okay, I feel like I hear it a lot.
Yeah, and that's very possible. I think the reason why I say it's in my mind is underrated is that we have this real issue in the theater community, and I think money is a big piece of this, and how cost prohibitive theater is. People don't get the opportunity to try things that they either aren't receiving positive reviews for, or whatever their source is for receiving information about new shows. They're not willing to try and explore things. And I think that show in particular, I mean, in 2009 when it first, was on Broadway, I think a lot of people tried it because it was a brand new musical, and at that point had won the Pulitzer Prize, and it was very well regarded. It unfortunately sat in the shadows of Billy Elliot that year, but like
It's better than Billy Elliot.
it is, and I think
Yeah.
that time was such an interesting time on Broadway. We could do a whole episode on that year in particular. But what I think is really unfortunate is that it's underrated in the fact that people don't give shows like that the chance that they deserve. And I feel like if more people took the time to really listen to that show and to understand, to your point, the meaning of it and the thoughts behind it and the concepts in it, I feel like we would have a major shift in our society. Like, I feel like it's one of those shows that's so impactful that it gets conversations started, it gets things moving, it makes people more empathetic, which is another thing that I always say theater has done for me in my life, has made me more of an understanding of other people's perspectives. And that's just one of those shows that just critically underappreciated.
I think it's hard because I don't think you can just listen to the music and get hooked on that show like you can with Hadestown. I was listening to the cast recording of Hadestown before I saw it. With Next to Normal, it's like outside of the context. I mean, people love I Miss the Mountains and they love Superboy and the Invisible Girl.
There is a run of songs in that show that is just bop after bop after bop after bop, and it starts with like the it starts with like It's Gonna Be Good all the way through Superboy and the Invisible Girl. That's like 6 songs that are just like nonstop, like heavy hitting.
For me,
numbers.
After I saw it again, because I hadn't seen it probably 10 years, and the song that kept going through my head was the "Didn't I see this movie?" Da, 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 da. And it's like, you just, I don't know, without the context, it's so hard to get hooked on it. And more people need to do it. More people need to do the show because it's very interesting.
New theater.
Yeah.
Go see theater that you don't recognize the name. Talk to people who see a lot of theater to give you recommendations on what to see.
And it is frustrating because, to your point, it is cost prohibitive. It's not that people don't want to try things. It's really expensive to try things, and it's such a gamble. And the licensing alone for a community theater to do a musical is at least $3,000.
Yeah.
And that's just the licensing, just the ability to do the show. So then, and when you're talking about a show like Next to Normal versus a show like Into the Woods, and you go, okay, what am I likely going to make my money back on? And it's a really frustrating problem that we deal with all the time, where we're trying to balance stuff and we're like, okay, we're not going to make our money back on this one, but we think it's worth doing, so we're going to put this one here because we think we will bring in a lot of money. Yeah. It's a balancing act for
that's
sure.
Why you see a lot of nonprofit regional theaters doing shows like Next to Normal, where like the money they're going to spend in a season is baked into the season.
Right.
So like they have the ability to have that flexibility, and they can, incorporate lesser known titles or.
Right, but that gets into a bigger conversation of like the people in charge need to care.
Yep.
Because the only reason those shows happen is because people think they're worth doing and care about it.
Yep.
Like, you could easily have someone in charge of a big theater be like, yeah, we're just going to do hits all year because that's what sells money or sells tickets. We're just going to do Mamma Mia all year because that's what sells us tickets. Like, yeah.
Yep, it's a wild conversation.
It's a racket.
Yeah, it's a racket. I could do a whole episode on not only how theater has gotten expensive, but how we can get around that, and how audience members and consumers can get around that, because it's a science and they make it difficult intentionally, and that's unfortunate.
Yep. But it's also, most Broadway shows don't make their money back.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of Into the Woods. Into the Woods.
I personally, Into the Woods is one of those shows that comes in waves, where like I feel like every 5 to 6 years, you'll see a wave of like 8 companies in an area doing it. Like it would be, crazy amount of productions going on, etc. And then it goes away for a little bit, and then it comes back, and it goes away, and it comes back. I think it's overrated in the fact that, to your point, what we were talking about with Next to Normal is that people do Into the Woods because it's safe. They know the story. People know the characters. It's very easy for a person off the street who has never seen any musical theater to pick up Into the Woods. People love it. They love the music. They love the story.
It's like edgy enough.
Yes, it's edgy enough. I have seen so many different styles of Into the Woods. You don't need to put trees up everywhere to tell the story of Into the Woods. I have seen it where it's set in an attic. I have seen it where it's set in the woods. My brother just saw the production in London where it's like super immersive. They like built the woods on stage. It's really cool. It's at the Bridge Theater. I highly recommend listeners you look this up because the photos are just insane. I mean, the lights are set up to make it look like the sun is peering through the trees. Like it's insane. But yeah, I think it's overrated in the fact that there's such a big love for it, and it just has held on for so long. The specifics about it being overrated too, on the mindset of although I think the music is really, really good, and I this is where things are going to get controversial. I don't think it's one of Stephen Sondheim's best scores of all time. And I think people have a big affinity for it because of the characters. They know the story, etc. I enjoy it. I will always, I will never pass up an opportunity to see Into the Woods. I think it's really enjoyable and it's a good experience. I don't think I've ever seen a bad production of it. But yeah, I think it's overrated.
You have seen a bad production of it, but we'll talk about it off of the pod.
Oh, yeah.
You don't need to justify. It's okay.
I will just say that we'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it there.
We don't need to say anything about it. I think... So I understand why people love Into the Woods. Mm-hmm. And I went through a phase, especially when I was pretty young. I was still in daycare, where I was obsessed with Into the Woods. Like, my dad had the script. I was looking at the script. I would, try to memorize all the lines from all the characters. Loved it. At this point right now, I'm feeling like it's a little overrated, and that could be just because we did it recently, and I'm just I'm Into the Woods out. I will say, I feel like I enjoyed working on our production of Into the Woods more than I thought I would. I kind of went into it feeling like everyone does it, just come on, but as we dug into it, you can find so many good moments in that show. And I do love that. I understand why people love it. There's so many great characters, a lot of ballads, a lot of cool moments there. Yeah, I mean, I get why people love it. I think there are other shows to explore as well. But I get it. Yeah. You want to do one more
let's do one more.
Wrap us up? Listeners, if you enjoyed our hot takes, let us know and we'll do another one of these.
Yes. Yeah. And send us your questions, thoughts, and opinions so we can debrief them.
Yeah, let us tear apart your favorite show.
Exactly. I have, there's probably not a single musical on earth that I don't have some form of opinion on, so.
Yeah, that is probably true.
Keep with the Sondheim kind of flow of things. How do you feel about Sweeney?
Over.
Over.
over,
Over.
over,
Over. Uh-huh.
more than Into the Woods.
Uh-huh.
Overrated.
Mm.
Again, I understand why people enjoy it. Again, it's one of these things where it's like, just edgy enough, you know, like it, it's just spooky enough and just gross enough. I think it is difficult to do and be invested in the characters. I think there are characters that have really interesting backstories, but like the beggar woman, like by the time you know what's going on with her, like she's already dead, basically.
Yep.
It's so long.
Yeah.
It's so long.
Uh-huh.
And like honestly, a lot of the songs do not hit for me. There are some good ones.
Yeah.
But like a lot of them just kind of like okay. Like I always the person who played our Joanna was fabulous, and I thought she did an amazing job. That role is so unforgiving.
Oh yeah.
Like
oh yeah.
You're telling me I'm gonna sing as high as I can about a bird for 4 minutes.
Everybody loves a good green finch and linnet bird. Nightingale, blackbird. Yeah.
It's rough. I am really glad that in our production we kept the scene where the judge is like whipping himself, because I think that's actually one of the more interesting things. It's like, what is going on here? This is crazy. Yeah, I think at this point, I love spooky things. Like, give us some original spooky stuff. Like, we know Sweeney Todd. Like, give me some original stuff. Yeah, that's in a nutshell. That's kind of how I feel about it, and it's also like the practicality of doing it is difficult because you got the chair and the whole contraption, and it's just
a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I would say I probably agree with you on that. Somewhere between that and an appropriate kind of level of, you know, appropriately rated. I think what makes that show different from Into the Woods for me is that, like, it does something, to your point, that musical theater isn't allowed to do very often, and that is go like horror level dark. And I mean, I have seen some productions of that show where they really play up that blood, the blood moments.
That. Yeah.
And musical theater can tackle just about anything, but plays have this issue too, where like telling a horror story to thousands of people each, performance, like on Broadway or however many people your venue can hold, trying to keep people engaged and invested in a horror play or a horror musical is hard.
Yeah.
It's very, very hard.
It's changing, and I'm excited about it.
Oh yeah. But it's very difficult, and that's why you don't see very much in the way of that type of work on the stage, because it's incredibly difficult. And I think back to, in the 70s when they're like, you know what, Sweeney Todd, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna tell this story. I'm like, the choice to do that and to find a way to do it to make it work, and like, granted, the original production really didn't use blood. It was more of like a loud whistle to kind of emphasize that. They found a way to make it work where it still gave that horror level, scariness with musical theater. And
I think for the time it was it was very groundbreaking.
Yeah. So I think it's very appropriately level. People, I think it gets what it deserves, but I don't think it's oh my gosh, it's so underappreciated. Nobody does Sweeney Todd. It's never one of those moments.
It's appreciated, for sure. I could go. How long ago did we do it?
Fall of 2020.
2.5, 3 years ago.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
20. I don't know.
Well, I could go.
I think it was
10 years. and still not find the urge to listen to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not because of anything that our cast did. I thought our cast was amazing. I'm really proud of the show we did. I'm glad we did it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been laid to rest.
Yeah.
And it can stay there
Mm-hmm.
for a while.
Yep. I hear you.
Yeah.
You have one more for me?
We each did 3, I thought.
Oh, I thought we each did 5. I think I gave you 4.
You didn't give me 4. You gave me The Wolves, Next to Normal.
We did Hadestown.
And Sweeney Todd. I gave you Hadestown, Into the Woods, and Great Gatsby.
Oh. Okay. Well, then our numbers are good then.
Yeah, I have more that we can do next time.
Oh,
but
sure. Okay. Let's do it again. I love this.
Yeah, my teaser next time,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to ask you about Hamilton.
Oh, why don't we just do that now? Why wait?
Keep it quick, though. We're hitting our time.
Oh, where do they gotta be? They're listening with us. We're around. We're hanging out.
Our sound person is actively falling asleep.
Well, he's been awake for 24 hours. So.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah. I'll just say real quick. Hamilton is aggressively overrated. Aggressively. I didn't always think that.
I agree.
Necessarily, but I think it's not very often that musical theater breaks through the cultural zeitgeist and everybody falls in love with it.
Yeah.
It makes for a really unique situation. So
it's also very long.
It is very long. There are a couple songs in there that still slap, but it's not the ones that everybody plays repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
So
the one I go to is Helpless.
I do love Helpless. I still listen. I love Burn, and also It's Quiet Uptown is me and Angelica sing together a lot.
You love Broadway women belting their hearts out. That's just...
I do.
That's your thing, yeah.
I do. I mean, I love a good group number, but if you give me a good 11 o'clock number, or you let me see somebody bearing their soul. I like when... this is going to sound weird, but I love when characters get to trauma dump and just get to have their moment and
give them the stage.
Yeah, just let them have the stage.
Yeah.
Burn, I mean, when they're just lighting letters on fire. I mean, that's just great times. Great times. Yeah, I've got a lot of feelings. So
cool.
Is that short and sweet?
Yeah, I loved it. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Grossly overrated.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad show.
No.
Just very,
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to talk about it too much anymore.
Yeah. We don't want to give it more fuel to its already overrated fire. Well, yeah, until next time, folks, when I think we'll probably be talking about some monsters being killed.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
By a lady.
Mm-hmm. She kills them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for getting snarky with us. We'll see you later.
See you next time.